Hey guys, Wade Willis here for Wade's Weeb Reviews. This past week for my teen romantic comedy, to sum it up, I'm just going to show you the one part that I actually enjoyed watching.
よし。
その写真送っといてくれ。
Yeah, that's basically it. The rest of the time I was so frustrated. Not saying it was a really good episode. It was just driving me crazy the whole time. The Yukonoshita family, Yukono's family, basically, they're like probably my least favorite family in any anime in this season. And her mom in the beginning of the episode starts dipping her toes into like all this stuff, finds out about prom, and is basically trying to like strong arm it and take it out from this organization, kind of like what I guess would be comparable as like PTA now, because she doesn't like the optics of the event. Which, okay, one, you haven't really like communicated with your daughter in like a long time. Now she's living back with you, but your daughter, your female daughter who's a minor, was living alone in an apartment, and you don't like the optics of having an event where kids are like being kids and dancing and stuff. It just blows my mind that that is an actual excuse. And of course, Yukono does not want Hachiman like involved, and she's like strong arming him out still, even though he kind of during his interaction with her and seeing how she was really trying to control everything, he knew that you couldn't go against her like in a normal manner. And this is going to come in to play later on, because I'm assuming, he's going to ball out on her, but he sees how you have to play the game. But Yukono has way too much freaking pride that she like refuses to have him help. And then in the episode, Yui and Hachiman are kind of like going on, it's basically like a date, but they're going around looking for stuff for his sister to like make a cake or whatever, and they go to IKEA and all this stuff. Basically it's IKEA, they changed the name a bit, so it's not the same, but it's basically IKEA. And in this, it's like, I loved this part, and I'm happy, and I knew that they were going to screw me over and screw Yui over, and of course, right on time, it happens. Yui gets a text from the president, student council president, saying like prom's going to be canceled. So Hachiman calls the sensei and is like, hey, what's the deal? She says, yeah, I was told by Yukono not to tell you, which again is like another strike against Yukono for me. It just drives me insane. Someone that with that much pride and is, here's the deal, getting help is not a problem. Doing something on your own and like having a whole thing sabotage and go wrong because you refuse to get help is a way bigger issue than you having people help you so you can get something done. But whatever. And then Hiki decides, hey, I'm gonna go and try to save the day over there, and Yui starts crying, and him being the idiot that he is doesn't understand why exactly she's crying. Now, she does try to say like, oh, this just happens with girls and whatever, and she's able to prevent herself from continuing to cry at that exact moment, and then he kind of just goes off, runs away. She curls up basically in the fetal position, hidden, and is like sobbing. Now, this, I guess like this whole part and everything that's going on in this show, it's really well done, and it drives me crazy because like I've been in Hiki's position, Hachiman's position, and like in this where you're just an idiot and like get tunnel vision and you're following the person you shouldn't really be following to help. And then I've also been in Yui's position where like you're like, what the hell? Like, I'm ready. This other person's, you mean, pretty much sucks right now, but you're going after them and keep saving them. So, like, for me, like, I'm looking back and I remember where, like, me being in both positions, and, like, I get pissed off at myself. And I'm like, man, I was an idiot for both situations. So I guess that's why it hits home even stronger with me than maybe for other people. But I'm sure a lot of you have been in at least one of the people's situations in that. And there's really like this inner monologue that really hits home and like crushes you. Even like my second time watching it, it like crushed me inside. Just Yui kind of saying like, "Hey, I'm really glad I stopped crying because he wouldn't have left me." And she's like, it's going through like the whole process of like you dealing with being hurt by someone. Like, so she's like, "Oh, thank God," like, because they're meant to be or whatever. But then she talks about how she doesn't understand like how Yukino could like give up, like let go, and basically refuse the way she did, which really is the part that like drives me crazy in this, is that she's being not a good person, not a good friend, not a good like potential like significant other, because she's so pig-headed and needs to do this herself and like all these things. And then Yui's just there being an amazing friend, an amazing person, and would be a way better soulmate, basically. And this whole thing, it's like gotten me to the point where I'm like, okay, like it's crushing me, and Yui's my favorite, and now I'm like, Hachiman doesn't even deserve her, and fine, he can get with Yukino. But I'd like to know your guys' opinion. How'd you feel about like that inner monologue at the end? I thought that was one of the strongest scenes probably in the whole series. Just her going back and forth with herself, not wanting to like, I don't want to be saved again. Now I regret that I wasn't continuing to cry, and I'm basically going to be crying for the rest of my life. Really rough stuff. And have you been any of those three people in your life? I'd love to hear your guys' opinions and your guys' stories. Comment below in the video. And guys, remember, like and subscribe. And I'm Wade Willis.